It's I got 1900 here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for everybody for taking the time to dial in tonight. It's much appreciated. Like I said, so we'll go ahead and get started. Calling the meeting to order for post 435 general membership meeting. I want to start with the Pledge of Allegiance here. You can recite along with me or just listen to me say it. It's completely up to you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. From there, I'm going to go right into the preamble, the American Legion Constitution. Again, you can say it along with me if you like, or you can just listen along. That's fine too. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism, to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations in all wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, and to consecrate and sanctify our comradeship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness. All right. I understand now we have a couple members here. Jake, are you following the chat real quick?
Yes. Yeah, I was optimistic we were going to be able to try something different today, but it looks like it's not allowing us to. So it's going to be just, I guess, the normal routine where we raise our hands.
Okay.
Which, yeah, on a laptop or iPad or something, use the reaction button to show me that you want to speak. Or maybe I'll be able to ask everyone to unmute at the same time whenever we get to that part. But we'll try that. So sorry that it's not working as perfectly as we want it to.
Well, and I'll get into this later. Hopefully, this is our last meeting solely by Zoom. I'll be talking on this later in the meeting here, but hopefully next month, based on COVID, of course, and the governor's orders, hopefully we will be able to meet in person next month to kind of get over this. All right. So as I said, based on COVID and the government mandates and everything like that, we're going to continue to monitor that. We're going to continue to abide by all the orders that we have to. Just a reminder, this meeting may be recorded. So like last meeting, we're going to try to leave everybody unmuted, but we've already seen that's not working like we wanted to. So like Jake said, we got a couple of options here. You can, if you're on a phone, you can dial *9 to raise your hand, and Jake will let me know that that you have your hand raised. If you're dialed in via computer, laptop, tablet, whatever, you have the option there to do a reaction to raise your hand. We'll go ahead and use that route for those people dialing in. Once Jake lets me know that you got your hand up, I'll go ahead and call on you. We can hear what you have to say. Voting tonight, we'll go by a verbal general vote. If there's any confusion regarding that, if there's any question, if it's a tight vote, I'll just do a roll call vote where I'll call each member out by name or by number. They can give their vote. As always, we'll have an open mic session towards the end there, where anybody, where there's something on the agenda. I'm sorry, if there's something not on the agenda that they want to have discussed, that would be the proper time for that. As always, we're mailing everything out via MailChimp, our email distribution system. So keep an eye on your emails for that. We're also continuing to do mailings as we are able to do those to make sure people who don't have emails are still getting something in the mail from our post. Just a reminder, if anybody wants copies of anything, be those minutes, financial documents, so on and so forth, just please reach out to me at commanderpost435@gmail.com. I will forward those requests on to the proper parties, and we will get those back to you as soon as we can. Tonight we have Jake, our tech guru, who you've already heard from. We were going to have Bob Amon tonight, but Bob is having a consultation on his shoulder. So right now we got Russ Sampson is representing our gun club here tonight. So thank you, Russ, for dialing in. Yeah, so on and so forth. We should have Sean Davis in maybe a little bit later. I'm not seeing him on right now, but he said he was going to dial in a bit later to give us an SAL update. So on and so forth. Jill Davis was also going to try to log in a little bit later. They're having their auxiliary meeting tonight as well. Hopefully we can get her to log in a little bit later, depending on how long their meeting goes. Yeah, so there we are. So tonight on our agenda, we have our agenda and support documents for tonight's meeting. Tonight's meeting were mailed out via MailChimp on the 21st. Again, we're going to focus sending all inquiries and everything that people have. Any questions that we can't answer tonight, they're going to be forwarded on to the proper committees to hopefully get those questions answered. Again, we want to make sure we utilize our process that we have established already as per our bylaws to make sure those questions are answered. So there we are. All right, Jake, tonight, can you tell how many people we have logged in?
There's 19 participants logged in, minus, I guess, me and anybody else who's not
Perfect.
helping.
Adam?
Yep. Who's this?
Mike Hewitt here.
Yep.
I just tried something just on the off chance, and I think I know what's going on with the being muted. I was muted initially, I wasn't, but then I muted myself and then was unable to turn it back off. So I exited the meeting and came back in and left myself unmuted.
Perfect.
So if anybody else wants to do that, I'm just throwing it out there. That's a way to do it. Leave and come back real quick and then leave yourself unmuted. Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Mike. That's really helpful. The only thing I ask, if you're gonna leave yourself unmuted, just make sure there's as little background noise as possible there, just to make sure we can all be heard and everything like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Our membership report. I don't think Terry's on tonight. I'm not seeing Terry on tonight. Nope, definitely not seeing Terry on tonight. All right, so last report we had from Terry Hansen, our membership coordinator. We have 831 renewals, and we have about approximately 6 to 10 of those that still need to be processed as far as getting their cards out tonight, or getting their cards out. So again, that's 831 renewals. Dave Kane, our finance officer. Jake, I see DJ and MJ Kane, if you can unmute him. Yep, he's raising his hand right now. If you can unmute him, Dave Kane can give our financial report.
Thank you, Commander. This is the report I gave to the Executive Committee on February 16th. As of February 15th, our historic accounts payable had a balance of $76,461. As of that date, we paid off $166,148 of the debt we had. We have some new debt of $10,700, which is both insurance and water bills. We have a bank balance as of 1/31 of $5,372. We had previously identified 2 CDs that we thought we were going to be able to not renew and put into the accounts. Turns out that they belong to the firearm safety program, so they're no longer on our books. They're part of the FAS program. We have in the membership account, we have a balance of $27. We are currently working to open new accounts with Unity Bank and eventually close the accounts with My Credit Union. The holding corporation count is currently in place. The Legion counts are in process, and they should be completed by tomorrow. Next one is the status of the Gun Club bridge loan. The Gun Club president has signed the loan agreement, as well as Mark Barthel, the commander, and I. And it appears that we should be making a transfer of that money into the Unity Bank account probably by Thursday. Unity Bank is currently working with the title company to resolve a couple outstanding title issues. Once that complete, they're ready to move forward with the line of credit. From the Property and Finance Committee activities, Mike Hewitt is managing the project to deal with inventory and equipment. Once we have funding in place, Mike is going to be asking for some volunteers to dispose of food and beverages at the post. The Property and Finance Committee approved of moving forward with the contract with Ace's Bid to hold online auctions of equipment. Mike is also going to be scheduling some time to let Legion members select keepsake and mementos they'd like to keep and allow them to make donations if they wish. He's also putting together recommendations for white items we want to keep for our new home and what we want to donate to other organizations. Questions?
If you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand like I explained earlier.
I'm gonna try to ask everyone to unmute, and then if you want to talk, you can unmute yourself, and we'll see if that helps.
Perfect. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there are no questions or comments regarding that, can I please have a motion then to accept that finance report as put out there by our finance officer, Dave Dean?
So move, Mike Hewitt.
Thanks, Mike. Can I have a second, please?
Second, Jeff Ansel.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there any further discussion on that?
Tom Eckhoff has his hand up.
What's that?
Tom Eckhoff has his hand up.
Tom Eckhoff.
He's muted right now.
Yep.
Hey, Tom, I'm asking you to unmute. I'm pressing that button right now. So hopefully you should get a prompt.
All right, I'm still showing him as muted here. Jake, you want to try one more time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, he should be, oh wait, did he show up or is he going in and out of the
He
meeting?
moved down to the second row, Jake.
Yeah, so he was raising his hand and I'm still showing him as muted.
Okay. Tom, if you're there, I can't actually unmute you. You have to do that. So all I can do is press this one button asking you to unmute. Just look for that prompt.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, hey, Tom, if that's not working, man, there's the chat.
He's unmuted.
He's now
There
unmuted.
you go.
Did that work?
Yeah, you're on.
I was just gonna second the motion, so I got too slow. My tablet was a little slow. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet now.
No worries, Tom, you're good.
We're good.
Is there any further discussion on this? Going once? Going twice? Third time is the charm. Any further discussion? Is that discussion or is that a cough? I'm going to count that as a cough. All right. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion as tabled signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Hey, Adam, this is Dave.
Yeah.
We still got 4 people muted.
There's nothing we can,
You can raise their hand if they're,
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now, guys. Again, this is hopefully the last time we have to deal solely with Zoom. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and count that as passed. All right, we also had, as part of the distribution for this particular meeting, we had the financial reports that were mailed out with it, particularly the December 2020 profit and loss statements, the balance sheet that was ending December 31st, 2020, as well as the calendar year to date profit and loss for the period of January, December of 2020. So those 3 documents were sent out with the email that had all your login information, everything like that. Does anybody have any questions regarding those? All right, well, I hope you all had a time to review those. That being said, can I please have a motion then to accept those financials, the December 2020 financials that were compiled by our CPA. Can I have a motion, please, to accept those?
Motion to accept.
I'm sorry, who was that? Can I have a motion to accept those financials?
So moved, Mike Hewitt.
Thanks, Mike. Can I have a second, please?
Dave, I'll
Eckhoff.
second.
Thanks, Tom. Is there any discussion on those financials? Any discussion going twice? Any discussion going 3 times? All right, all those in favor of accepting the financials, signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, I'm considering that passed. Thank you. All right, going on. So now we have the meeting minutes. We're still operating under the original motion that was made back in November of last year regarding that no meeting minutes will be approved until we have our next in-person meeting. So we have our general membership meeting from January 26th, 2021. We have various property and finance committee meetings, holding corporation meetings, search and nominating committee meetings. Because we have that motion, those meeting minutes have been compiled and they will be sent out. Again, because we have that motion that has been in place not to accept them, I'm going to go ahead and forego reading those minutes because we can't accept them anyway. It wouldn't do a whole lot of good. We're going to have a resolution later on this evening regarding how those minutes are going to be handled going forward, so we can deal with those. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? All right, if there are no questions, I'll go ahead and move forward here. So we got a couple motions I'm asking our membership to kind of hear and to hopefully pass. First motion going forward here, like I mentioned earlier in our meeting, starting next month, I would like to have in-person general membership meetings starting up again. Again, this is all based on COVID restrictions and everything like that. My goal is that these meetings will be hybrid meetings, which means there will be an in-person component as well as if somebody wants to dial in via Zoom again, we will have that option as well. So it'll be a hybrid meeting. So we have members dialing in via Zoom and members in person showing up. We plan on having these meetings for the in-person portion at VFW Post 1296 in Bloomington, like we previously had. The issue we're kind of running up against here is the only available night for the large meeting space are Wednesdays, the last Wednesdays of the month. Oh, excuse me. So I just wanted to run it by the membership here. So as it is, according to our agenda, the following general membership meetings then, if we have in-person meetings at Post 1296, will be Wednesday, March 31st, Wednesday, April 28th, and Wednesday, May 26th. Those are the 3 we have. We're kind of going 3 months out at a time. That's kind of what we're dealing on here. Again, that's at VFW Post 1296 in Bloomington, based on space availability. That's why I'm asking it to come before the general membership here. Hopefully I can have a motion then to approve those dates for the next 3 months of our general membership meetings.
Adam, this is Dave. So moved.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Can I have a second, please?
Mike Hewitt, seconded.
Thank you, Mike. Again, this is going to be based on the governor's orders and everything like that, whether we like them or not. That's kind of what we have to follow. We're not going to put Post 1296 in any kind of awkward positions. But that's what we're going forward with right now. So that's the motion on the table. Is there any discussion on that?
Adam,
Yes,
is that,
Adam, it's Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think it's also important at this time, if we're going to we're asking for the membership to approve these dates. I think we should set a time. I know we talked about it at the executive board meeting of having 6:30 be the start time in particular for next month, because we anticipate the reading of the minutes unless there's a motion to forego them. I think
Okay.
I think we may as well set the time for 6:30 for all of those. Also with the caveat that in the event we are unable to meet, advance information would be sent out that would revert to our normal last Tuesday of the month. So everyone here is aware of that possibility. We're trying for this, but if we have to Zoom it only, we're back on our regular meeting night. So I'd like to make that addition to the motion, so everyone's aware of what we plan to do, because the elections are going to be tallied and announced on that Wednesday, May 26th meeting, too, as we get into tonight's meeting that come out.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any other comments on that? Okay. So who's this? Was that just a cough again? Fair enough.
I would just say that I agree with Mark, 6:30 on the Wednesday, for the hybrid. And if we're precluded because of things out of our control, then it just simply drops back a day at 7 p.m. on the preceding Tuesday.
Fair enough. And it'd be via Zoom.
This is Dave. I also agree with that.
Thank you. Does anybody have any concerns or questions regarding that, or any discussion? Again, this will all be sent out via your normal invites. It'll all be reflected in the meeting notices.
And we can put it out in the Facebook page too, for those people that check that out.
Facebook and our website as well. Does anybody have any further comments, questions, concerns, discussion about that? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. All right, without any discussion, calling the vote here. All those in favor of the motion as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, I'm considering that passed. Thank you, everybody. All right, the next motion we need to consider here. The search and nominating committee has met to discuss the upcoming elections and everything like that, or post-elections. And they have recommended that we move the election from April 2021, from our April 2021 general membership meeting to the May 2021 general membership meeting. And then to also follow the process that was used in our 2020 special election, which was in person and mail-in ballots via USPS. Again, that's to deal with any potential COVID complications, and to also give people enough time to get their ballots in, and to hopefully make it safe for everybody to vote.
Adam, Mark here.
Yes, sir.
Can I read on tonight's agenda? It's the draft on the last page. The reasoning, a little more spelled out factor why we're requesting and recommending that change.
Go for it, Mark. I was just getting ready to read that, but go ahead.
Okay. At the March general membership meeting, we are recommending the final call for nominations from the floor. Ballots will be submitted in person. Well, after that meeting, then we'll prepare the ballot to be mailed out. The ballots will be mailed out by April 7th, 2021. Ballots that are returned by US mail must be postmarked by May 7th, 2021. The final results of the mail-in will be kept secret and will be added to the in-person voting that night of the May 21st, or excuse me, the May 26th general membership meeting. The ballots will be made up of the names of all those people that are pursuing positions for the various vacancies we have. They will not be in alphabetical order. They will not be in alphabetical order. And then that night at the May meeting, they will be tallied up and the announcements will be read that night, is what I believe we came up with. I'm not seeing that here in these notes, but legal review will process and recommend any appropriate modifications to ensure the highest election integrity processes, including drafting any pertinent motions. As Adam said, we are going to pretty much follow the process for the last election that we had, where we did the in-person voting and where folks had ample time to return them by mail to get the greatest number of people involved in that process. So are there anyone have any questions of what Adam spoke of and I followed up with?
Vander?
Yep.
Two questions. One is, are the ballots going to be, the blank ballots going to be seen before they're mailed out? Because I know last year there was a few names that weren't proper going into it. For an example, the holding corporation had some people that were not allowed to run. A bunch of other things like that. Number two is, hang on a second. Could you call the department and see when they need the results? Because in the past, we've done it in April, so we could turn it in May to the department for their records.
Yes, from what I understood from the department, they just need it by the new Legion year, from what I have been previously told. So that should leave ample time to get it in by the new Legion year.
Yeah, would you just confirm that with maybe Jennifer?
Yes, yeah, we'll do.
Thank you.
And then, yes, we are going to then work with our bylaws and work with our legal team to make sure that all parties who are on the ballots are actually able to be standing for those offices that they're running for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right. So can I please then have a motion to approve our 2021 election process as spelled out by myself and Mark Bartel?
Jeff Ansel, so moved.
Thank you, Jeff. Can I have a second, please?
Eckhoff, second.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Any further discussion on that? Any further discussion? Going twice. Any further discussion? Going three times. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, thank you. I'm considering the motion passed. All right, the third motion to consider or to adopt here. So we have two resolutions that were forwarded to our post by our district commander, Wade Larson. We have resolution 21-1. And again, this is all before, excuse me. This is all going before the state legislature for state of Minnesota. To the first one, resolution 21-1, to exempt organizations like ourselves from property taxation. And then resolution 21-2, that would allow charitable gambling proceeds for a post for home repairs to go up to 50%. Again, these are these are items before the Minnesota legislature And these are just two resolutions to indicate that we as Post 435 support the passing of these measures. They have been attached to the email that was sent out with this agenda and everything like that. So I hope you all had a chance to review them. Again, these were sent out by our district commander, Wade Larson, wanting all posts to kind of pass resolutions in support of those.
This is Dave.
Go ahead.
Just as
Go
a
ahead,
point
Dave.
of clarification, they've been approved by the executive committee, the holding
Yes.
corporation, and the property and finance committee.
Thank you, Dave. Yes.
Commander,
Yes, sir.
I'd make a motion that the three subsection resolution 21-1, 2, and 3 be approved by the general membership.
I second the
Sounds like
motion, Jim Cooper.
It is.
All right, let's take your pick. We had a couple seconds there. Jakey Jim for giving the original motion. I heard Jim Cooper as the second, so we'll kind of go with Jim Cooper as second.
That's correct.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir. Is there any further discussion on those? Any further discussion? And Jim Munson, just for my own clarification here, you said resolution 21-3, correct?
I believe I said there, hold on a second, I got it right here.
Yeah, no worries.
He did say 1 and 2 and 3.
Number 3.
Yes, he did.
One,
So
two,
you
and
said number 3. So in my documents in front of me, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. For 21-3, I have a motion to rescind the motion of tabling minutes. Is that what you mean by that, Jim?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I wanted to take the process of gambling.
Yes. So that's according to our documents, that's resolution 21-1 and 21-2.
Yep.
Those, there you go.
Yep.
Jim, does that accurately reflect your motion?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Sorry for the confusion.
No problem. Jim Cooper, does that accurately reflect your second?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim Cooper. Okay, guys, final one here. Discussion point 3. Does anybody have any discussion 3 or third time, I should say? I'm sorry.
Adam, we should probably vote on 21-1 and 21-2 as they are separate from.
Okay, I was going as one fell swoop. Does anybody have any issues with that, or do you agree with Mark that we should separate them out?
Separate them.
All right, who was that? I heard a voice saying separate them. I just want to make sure I heard that right.
Well, I think we have them separated. You're going on 1 and 2 right now.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So let's go resolution 21-1 to exempt from property taxation. Jim, is that okay? I can still use you, Jim Munson as the first and Jim Cooper as the second?
Yep.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, any further discussion on resolution 21-1? Going once. Going twice. 3 times. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, considering that passed. Jim Munson, do I still have your motion for 21-2?
Yes, sir.
Jim Cooper, do I still have your second?
You do. That's correct.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right, any further discussion on 21-2? Going once. Going twice. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, I'm going to pass, consider that passed. Thank you. All right, on to the next motion, hopefully pass here. So we have a motion, resolution 21-3 that was also attached, to the email that was sent out here. Again, this back in November of 2020, we had a motion to not accept any minutes until our next in-person meeting. That motion was passed. This motion 21-3, this resolution 21-3 is to rescind that motion based on some legal counsel that we've had and to just help keep things moving along. Our rationale for this, we had our legal opinion states that approving the minutes is really technically an administrative function and should be followed as a best practice. Approving minutes monthly is essential to ensuring that we address any questions that were raised during those previous meetings, so on and so forth. And in the event that our March meeting cannot be held in person, we can then have advanced notification of this intended action to occur at our general membership meeting. Again, what I'm doing here is, what we're trying to do here is just to rescind the motion. This particular resolution will not be approving any minutes or anything like that. They'll just be rescinding the motion that was passed back in November of 2020. Going forward then, if this is passed, my intent then is to forward the remaining minutes that need to be approved. Many of them have been attached to this meeting invite, to forward them out again to members via MailChimp, and also then have those meeting minutes available in person, should we be able to meet in person in March, so members can then read those minutes prior to our March membership meeting. That sounded really convoluted as I said it, so I'm going to try to get it out one more time. This resolution is not to accept the minutes, but instead to rescind the motion that was approved in November of 2020 that is not allowing us to approve minutes until our next in-person meeting. Going forward again, we will send out all of the pending meeting minutes. That's general membership meeting minutes, that's executive committee meeting minutes, that's property and finance committee meeting minutes, that's holding corporation minutes, that's search and nominating committee minutes. All those will be forwarded via MailChimp to our membership list, as well as a physical hard copy that will be available for our March membership meeting in person. Does that make sense, or have I completely confused everybody?
Adam, this is Mark. Let me add one further thing, please.
Yep.
With this motion in mind, we're obviously, like it said, we're not going to read them tonight, but give them out to everyone to review. And then that is also another reason why we are planning on starting our meeting in Bloomington at 6:30 to allow for the questions that members will, in all likelihood, have. So we're giving ourselves, we're moving it up to start, so there's ample time, so we're not adding any extra time than we have to on the back end of the meeting. So that was part of our reasoning for 6:30 too.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, can I please have a motion to accept resolution 21-3, which is to rescind the motion for tabling our minutes?
I'll make that motion. Jim Cooper.
Jim Cooper, thank you, sir. Can I have a second, please? I'm sorry, was that a second or?
Eckhoff, second.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Is there any further discussion on that?
Xander,
Yes, sir.
under discussion. I guess my question is that if we're going to have a meeting in March anyway, what's the purpose of even doing this? It's worked so far. I mean, I guess I just don't understand why we should do this if we're not going to be proving anything anyway. I just don't understand it.
So I have two reasons for that. One, we're doing this in case we can't actually meet in person in March. Just so then everybody has the ability, just so the notification can be sent out. Two, from a logistical standpoint, our meeting minutes are starting to pile up. And instead of spending an hour to 2 hours going through all the minutes and dealing with all the questions, we're trying to nip this in the bud from a logistical standpoint.
I would think we could get the minutes beforehand, but we don't have to approve anything or do anything until we meet.
Fair enough. And that's kind of what I laid out there, Jim. So all these minutes will be sent out prior to this meeting happening. So everybody would have a chance to read those minutes and get any questions that they have. So ready to go for that meeting.
Very
Does that make
good.
sense?
Very good. Thank you.
No problem. Is there any further discussion on that? Going twice. Any further discussion? 3 times.
Adam, it's Mark.
Mark
Yes, go
raised
ahead,
his
Mark.
hand.
Say, I think it's also fair for everyone to understand that whether or not we meet in person, if we have to Zoom it for the March meeting, the minutes will be introduced there. So
Yep.
that's the one takeaway, because I made that very same comment, Jim, how ironic it is that we're undertaking this, but the bottom line is we need to get them introduced, whether we Zoom only or we meet in person with a Zoom hybrid. So that's also the reason for the vote tonight on this.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, Adam, this
Freeway?
is,
Hold on. I'm sorry, I got 2 people talking here. Who is this?
It'd be in there. It was, I don't.
Okay, I think we just somebody with an open mic there. Who was the other person?
Lynn.
Lynn?
that's,
go ahead.
yes. So now I'm confused by what Mark said versus what Jim said. Are we getting the minutes in advance before March meeting, whether it's Zoom, whether it's hybrid, whether it's in person, whatever?
Yes. Yes.
If the answer is yes, then I'm back to, I don't understand what the motion is about to rescind it.
So the motion is, in case we can't meet in March
In person.
as the original motion from November of 2020 stated, we can still go ahead in the March 2021 meeting and move forward with getting those minutes approved. Because we have quite the backlog building up now.
But if we send them out between today and March, what difference does it make if we meet in? Why wouldn't we able to have the meeting?
Because according to the motion that was passed in November of 2020.
Oh, yep, that's right. I remember that. I take that back. Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yep. We are on the same page now.
Yes.
Are there any further questions or comments? I just want to point out here, by March 10th, we should have all the outstanding meeting minutes, to include tonight's minutes and including last week's executive committee minutes, ready to go for everybody. So we should be completely up to date, by March 10th, 2020, and those will be sent out via MailChimp, excuse me again. And then we will also have those meeting minutes, a hard copy of those available the night of the meeting as well, for those who just don't have email or who didn't look at it via email, who want to look at those in person. All right, there's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, there the motion passed. All right, we are on to the next section of our agenda here. We're moving quite good here. We have call for nominations. Mark, since you are the head of the search and nominating committee, I don't know. Do you want to announce calls for nominations, or should I, since I'm already talking and everybody's probably used to my voice? So I'll tell you what, I'll just go down the list here. So for the coming term, for 1-year terms, we have positions of commander, first vice commander, second vice commander, and finance officer. We also have seats open on the executive committee. We have 3 seats open, 2-year terms expiring June 30th of 2023. We have 3 at-large seats open on the holding corporation. Again, that's 2-year term expiring 2023. We have 2 at-large seats open on the property and finance committee. And then it's 2-year term expiring 2023. And on the search and nominating committee, we have 4 at-large seats that are open. 2 of those seats are a 1-year term expiring June 30th of 2022, and 2 seats with a 2-year term expiring June 30th, 2023. For the sake of transparency, I think I made this clear at our last meeting. I do intend to run for commander again. Mike Hewitt, correct me if I'm wrong. You intend on running for vice commander again?
Correct.
Correct. I have also heard from Andy Keller, our second vice. I don't see him on the call tonight, but he has indicated he would run for second commander or second vice commander again. And Dave Kane has indicated he is going to run for the finance officer position again. We've also had various parties reach out, express interest in running for executive committee seats and property and finance committee seats. So with that in mind, are there any, I'm calling for nominations from the floor at this point. Is there anybody on here who would like to nominate a party or who would like to nominate themselves for any of the open positions?
Eckhoff wants to run for the position on the holding corp.
Okay, so you want to rerun for your holding corporation position?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I got that, Tom.
Oh, okay, good, thanks.
Right now, this is Mark. We have 3 people who are all seeking re-election to the holding corporation. They were on a 1-year term of Lynn Lodge, Tom Eckhoff, and myself.
All right, thank you, Mark. And I know we've had Chuck Munson has reached out. He's not on the call tonight. He has expressed an interest in running for a one of the property and finance committee seats. So there's that as well.
Commander,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to put my name in for the holding corporation, please.
Jim Munson for the holding corporation. Mark, you got that noted?
I will put it down.
Thank you.
And
Is there anybody
also,
else? Go ahead.
Jeff Ansel has reached out to me and he is going to be, Jeff, was that all? You wanted to just be on the executive committee? Or was it also property and finance too, or anything else?
Can't be on both.
Well, there's no guarantee you'll be on both either.
Well, but you can't run for both, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I follow.
I don't think that's necessarily spelled out in the bylaws saying you can't run for both.
What if
I know you
did
can't
win?
be on.
What
You
if
can't
you
be
did
on both.
win
Yes,
both?
that's correct. And if I remember correctly, the special rule for that was waived.
This year.
Yes. Okay. If there's nobody who wants to put their name forward, that's fine. Again, we have time to get them in. If there's anybody who has any desire, if you want to reconsider, or if you haven't already put your name forward and just forgot to mention, please go ahead and email myself at commanderpost435@gmail.com. You can go ahead and either nominate yourself or somebody else.
Adam, let me put this out there to those of us, those on the call tonight. We also have other positions, chaplain, sergeant at arms, and also historian. If you want to volunteer to serve in that capacity, that's not an elected position, but it is still a position that in the past we have not filled, and it's one that does have some level of involvement. So please, if you want to go on to those, it's you're more than welcome to, and just reach out to the commander so we can get your name for whoever will be the leadership for the next Legion year. So just so everyone is aware.
This is Dave. We're also looking for an adjutant.
Yes, and I was just going to say that. Thank you, Dave. So those positions that Mark just mentioned, they are appointed by the commander, and Yeah, so like Mark said, they don't require an election, but we do definitely need people to fill those positions. And as Dave mentioned, probably the most important of that is the adjutant position. So again, if you would like to be considered for those positions, please go ahead and email me at commanderpost435@gmail.com, and we will go ahead and take that under consideration.
Commander,
All right, on to the next session here. So before we go to the open mic,
Adam,
yes, sir. Who's this?
this is Jeff Ansel.
Jeff Hansel, go ahead.
Did you get my introductory notice that I had Diane send out?
I did, yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so before we go on to the open mic session of our meeting here, so let's go ahead. I just want to point out we've had a couple of our post member. We've had one of our post members, Chuck Munson. Like I mentioned, he's running for the Property and Finance Committee. Chuck just recently was released from the hospital due to some heart surgery that he had. So let's go ahead and all keep him in your thoughts there. Yeah, there you go. I want to make sure everybody's thinking about Chuck. And then we also had going through here again. I'm reading my notes. Just bear with me here. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe this is on here. I want to make sure that we all keep Annette Bray in our thoughts. Annette Bray recently passed away. She was a very active member of the American Legion Auxiliary in our particular unit here at the state, as well as in the district and state level, until her health side kind of started failing here. She was the unit president here for our auxiliary from 1986 to 1987. And she was our department president for the auxiliary as well from 2000 to 2001. So unfortunately, she passed away on February 14th of this year. Her husband, Bill Bray, survivor here, is a long member of the post. So we can go ahead and keep both of them in our thoughts. So I got on that right now. I'm sorry, I'm going through my notes here, make sure I don't forget anything. All right, with that in mind, we have our open mic period. I'm sorry, Jeff. I just remembered Jeff Ansel. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You would like to be appointed to the seat that was vacated on the executive committee by Don Rhodes, correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. So I'll go ahead. I'll bring that before the membership right now. Again, we have just Jeff Hansel here. Jeff, again, I apologize. I did read your email, but I've had a lot of emails coming through. So Jeff would like to be appointed to Don Rhodes' vacated seat on the executive committee. Can I please have a motion to effect that replacement?
So moved, Mike Hewitt.
Thank you, Mike. Can I have a second, please?
Jim Cooper, second.
Jim Cooper, I appreciate that. Is there any discussion on that? Jeff, actually, maybe before we get into that, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a life member of the Legion. I was a Department of the Army civilian. I was a unit administrator for Army Reserve Unit at Fort Snelling for several years. I am on the board of directors for the Minneapolis Apollo Club Men's Chorus, now in its 126th year. I have been on the board of directors, board of finance directors for Zura Shrine, the Zura Shriners in Minneapolis for several years. Married, have a daughter, 2 grandsons. What else would you like to know?
Sounds good to me.
What's your favorite color, Jeff?
Red, white, and blue.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
All right. All right. All right. So if there's, do we have any discussion regarding that?
Mark, here, I have one question. Was Don Rhodes elected or was he on the executive board due to his acceptance at the beginning for being the adjutant? That's the only thing I really think we got to make sure we're clear on.
Don Rhodes was elected.
That's good. You say it, that's good for me. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep, Don Rhodes was elected. All right. Is there any further discussion? Going twice. Any further discussion? Going 3 times. All right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, say I pass. Welcome aboard, Jeff. I appreciate you putting your name
Thank you. I
forward.
appreciate that.
All right. On to the open mic section of our meeting here. Again, this is a portion of the meeting, excuse me, for members to bring up anything that wasn't necessarily on the agenda, gripes, concerns, questions, kudos. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up?
Mark, here I have one thing that's come across my table. Boys State, the annual program is they intend to hold it at the state level this year. They haven't yet, as I was made aware of, determined if it's going to be in person or if it's going to be virtual. The fees associated with it for virtual are $100 per student. And then otherwise, if it's in person, it would be still be, I believe it is the $350. Quite honestly, I don't know that they would get the same effect over in a virtual platform. That's just me on my own side. I could support that. I wouldn't support us sending a bunch of people there, but I think if they come out, given the circumstances yet that still exist in our state with the distancing and vaccines underway, but teenagers are not going to be vaccinated. I'd like to put it out to this membership body here tonight that if we're going to support anything, it would be virtual only. And I just don't want to be a part of sending anyone to St. John's yet this year. So I'd like to make a motion that we support the virtual platform and with 1 or 2 representatives. And if they come back and say they're going to do it in person, I think we need to just make a statement. We're just going to just send a statement. We'll let the kids know how they can apply, but we as the American Legion, I think it's just a conscious effort that we maintain the status quo for the time being.
Hey, Mark, this is Dave. Let me just throw out one other point of clarification. Just, not adverse to your motion or what you're thinking, but recognize we still owe about $75,000. And right now, as it sits, the only monies we have coming in are the loans we're taking out, the line of credit when we finalize that with Unity Bank. So anything we're doing right now, we're doing with borrowed money.
And I understand it. And that's why no more than 2 and probably only one $100 fee for to have a representative from the American Legion at the virtual Boys State program only, not in person.
And I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure they're all on the same page of where we're at.
Yep, $100 we can live with.
Yep.
So Mark, do you think it's fair that we can bring that back to committee at this point?
No, I think we need to address it now because we're coming into that time of year where things are going to move forward, and then we can, if I'm called by the department, I can say we'll support this, but not the other.
Fair enough. All right, so I have a motion on the table as laid out by Mark Bartel. Can I have a second, please?
This is Jeff, second.
Jeff, thank you, sir. Is there any further discussion on that? Any further discussion? Going twice. Further discussion going 3 times. All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, considering the motion passed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other topics for open mic?
That couldn't have been open mic, right? We can't do motions during open mic.
You are correct. So now we will go into open mic. Are there any open mic topics here?
Eckhoff has something.
Go ahead, Tom.
I've been driving by the Legion and I see the flag is beginning to tatter. Why don't we buy another flag, have the guy take it down and repair it, and then have that as a backup? And I'll start out with $50 of my own money.
When's the last time we replaced that flag? I'm just curious for the cost that we're looking at.
It was last year around Memorial Day time.
Okay. Do you remember off the top of your head what we paid? I can't remember.
It's around 300.
Okay.
We passed the hat that one night. I think it was
Yeah,
October.
that's right. We did. And then I mean, I'm willing to take care of it and donate my $50 of my own and then bring it up again next month if we want to do it. I'll just pay for it.
I think we could probably make that happen the next month. I will be in touch with you, Tom, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Good.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
If people want to contribute, let someone on the leadership team know.
Yep. Thanks, Mark.
I can make sure it gets taken care of. I'll pay for it, and then I'll bring the receipts in the next meeting.
All right, Tom, I'll be in touch.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Any other topics?
I have a quick question.
Sure,
What's
go ahead.
possibility of changing the sign at the post to say something easy like closed for renovation, as opposed to letting people think that the post dried up and blew away?
Yeah, I think that's something we could look at. Jeff, now we're on the executive committee. Can we maybe start get that email discussion going from the executive committee, come up with ideas?
Yep, I just wanted to put it out there as long as everybody's here.
No, I'm completely on board with that. I think I think we can coordinate, figure out what message we want and get that up there.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Is there any other topics? Any other topics? All right, if there's no other topics, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
I heard a couple voices there.
I think it was
When are we going to?
and Jim.
Am I unmuted?
Who's this?
This is Russ Sampson from,
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
Russ.
the
Yes.
co-chairman of the gun club.
Yes, Russ. I'm
And
sorry.
I
had you written down here. Yeah. Can I please get an update from the gun club? I apologize.
no, that's great. I've enjoyed the meeting, and I just wish we had more. Or I wish there was more members on it. But the gun club's going great. They've been plowing it out, and they've been doing some shooting, and everybody's on board for the loan. And I just wanted to hope that we can get the some of the money stuff taken care of that needs to, and get Wakefield and Cushman and them guys working on it, and get
Be done by
what everybody
Thursday.
wants for a building.
Perfect. Thanks.
Should be
Thanks for the
done
update,
by
Russ.
Thursday.
Thanks, Jim. All right, so can I have a motion to adjourn, please? There was a couple of chorus of voices there.
This is Jeff, so moved.
Jeff, all right, thank you. A second, sir.
Jim Cooper,
Eckhoff.
second.
I'm going with Jim Cooper. That's the first name I heard. All right. Any discussion on that? All right, all those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right, I'm calling the meeting adjourned at 20:05 hours. Thank you, everybody.
Health and safety to all.
Yep, have a good night.
Bye-bye.
I